Well, we are back with another round of tips. And as per usual, before we dive into this week's fixtures, let's take a look back at an interesting week of footy just played, round 23. Now, as far as tries and margins go, they were more of a miss than hit. What we care about the most was pretty decent. We had a mad week, 7 from 8 correct picks, and of all games to not only get wrong but get a full-on red carpet, which is no correct picks in any other categories, results, margin, and try scorer. It was a bloody Titans game, a team that was on a heater, back home facing a super depleted Cronulla Sharks. I mean, not only did they lose, they got 44 dropped on their heads. Let me say that again. A 44 piece for the Sharkies, while the Titans were there to see their cousin Owen. Crazy. I guess it was kind of insane with the number 13 team in the league being a favourite over a top 4 side, but it is what it is. We'll take 7 from 8 correct picks. Now let's go ahead and check how these teams line up and make some picks for round 24. Alright, so round 24 kicks off with an absolute heater. We say that a lot, but this is number 1 versus number 2. I cannot wait till the Panthers host the Storm. And looking at the lineup here, the Panthers will be without 2 of their starters in Liam Martin and Scott Sorensen. That's crucial, both edges missing. So joining the back row, they have Maverick Gaia and Liam Henry. Jack Cole is the new man on the bench in the 17, and although Fisher Harris and Edwards aren't named in the starting side, they are in reserves. And we're due back this round, so they could potentially join the starting lineup. For now, they're going to make our picks as if they're not. And looking at the opposition, the Storm have made one change. They welcome back Ali Gato to the back row, Big Nelson moving from the edge to the middle, and Chris Lewis dropping out of the 17. As for our pick in this match, like I said, we're going to treat it as if Edwards and Fisher Harris won't be playing. So with that being said, I'll be leaning towards the side of the Melbourne Storm. Now, am I confident in this pick? Without 4 of their starters, I'll say yes, especially the type of players that they have missing are both starting back rowers, Dylan Edwards, who is an absolute machine, and one of their top middles. Mind you, seeing as they are still favourites, I'm assuming that Edwards and Fish could possibly return. So if they do end up playing, is it enough for me to make me change my selection in this game? No, but it does make me less confident in the Storm because you never know what you're going to get defensively with the Storm. But yeah, I'm going to take them anyway. I'm going to back the big 4 of the Storm. Pappenhausen, Munster, Hughes, quietly having one of his best seasons, and of course Harry Grant. I think they could beat Penrith here in their own backyard, especially if Dylan Edwards and Fisher Harris are still out. But seeing as the Panthers are the favourites, I'm guessing the bookies know something we don't know. For a try scorer, we're going to jump on Grant Anderson, who's having quite a breakout season, and the Storm 1 to 12 points. And the first for 2 on Friday, we kick it off with another pretty decent game here as the 6th ranked Sea Eagles host the 14th ranked Warriors at 4 Points Park. One of the few home fields that do actually feel like a fortress. Looking at changes for the Sea Eagles, they have Josh Aloiai back. He jumps straight into the front row with Nathan Brown dropping to the bench and Torfafor simply dropping out of the 17. Now on the side of the Warriors, they have 3 players returning to their starting 17, one being Sean Johnson, and outside backs Adam Pompey along with Marcelo Montoya are dropping out of the side, Ali Leotawa and Tamaire Martin. As for our pick in this match, first of all, historically it's showing here that their previous meetings have been tight. In fact, the earliest was back in April, round 6, where they drew 22 points. As for their form heading in, the Warriors, their fall off is well documented. They're currently 1 from their previous 5, and Manly 4 from their previous 5. They're actually looking pretty good as of late, especially getting Turbo back. So for my pick, it's pretty cut and dry. Manly at 4 Points Park, especially with their full team on deck. They make it tough no matter the quality of opposition, so we're going to back them in to pull off a tight victory. Give me Manly 1 to 12 points and to bag a meat pie. I'm looking towards the left side of Manly, and we're going to go back and double dip with Tommy Talau. And to close Friday night footy, we have the Roosters hosting the Eels at Allianz Stadium. In terms of changes to the lineup, nothing for the Roosters, so we move on to the Eels. Nothing much happening here as well. It's only Kalma Tuilagi making this return. He'll be on the bench for Matt Dory, who drops out of the 17. So again, a pretty hard and fast pick for mine, but before we make our pick, let's go ahead and take a look at how they've been going. The Chooks currently 3rd, and the Eels trying to avoid a wooden spoon. Historically, the Chooks do love this Eels matchup as they've won 27 out of 42 played, and have comfortably beaten them in their previous meetings, one being earlier this season. As for the form heading in, Chooks 4 from 5, and Parramatta coming off an absolute heartbreaking loss to the Panthers, who pulled off a monumental comeback. My selection pretty simple for mine, and for I assume the majority of punters out there or tipsters out there will be on the Chooks. We're going to go 13 plus here, and to score a try, I do like their left side, although Angus has sort of slowed down with the tries. I like who he's coming up against. And to kick off Super Saturday, the Bulldogs host the Dolphins for the 3rd ever NRL game coming out of Bundaberg Salter Oval. Looking at the ins and outs, not much happening for both sides, starting with the hosts. Jamin Salmon makes his way back into the side coming off the pine, and Lipoi Hopoi is the one to drop out. For the Dolphins, they'll be without Mark Nichols, so rookie Lachlan Hubner joins the bench. Now, as for our pick, first of all, looking at the short history between the two, only the one game played and the Bulldogs did get that win. It was actually at the same venue where they won by 1 point. Looking at their form heading into this, the Bulldogs currently 4 from their previous 5, and the Dolphins 2. As for who I'll be taking, stylistically I do think it's a good matchup for the Bulldogs, who I can see pretty much grinding out a pretty close win. And the Dolphins in general just look fatigued. Like I said, I could see the Bulldogs wearing them out and eventually pulling away with the win. So give me 1 to 12 Bulldogs, and to score a try, we'll be jumping on Bronson Xerri, who does have the hot hand at the moment. In the second game for Super Saturday, we head up to North Queensland for the Cowboys hosting the Raiders. Looking at changes here, Chad Townsend has been dropped. That's the biggest news for the Cowboys this week. Jay Clifford will be their new 7th. They will also be without Jeremiah Nanai, who suffered a head knock last week, so as he typically does, Kuligefu Finefuaki will be the one to replace Nanai, and Mikaele will join the bench for the Raiders. They'll be without Jordan Laupana, again a Category 1 HIA, keeping them out in around 24, so what they've done is put Seb Chris out to the wing, Ethan Strange to center, and Adam Cook jumps in the 6. As for our pick in this game, looking at current form, the Cowboys 3 from their previous 5, the Raiders 2, and the Cowboys have beat them earlier this season by 13 plus points. So what I will say, that was without Jamal Fogarty. With him back at the helm, Cows without a dominant playmaker like Jamal Fogarty, this could low-key be a setup for Fogarty to dominate with his kicking game. So we're going to risk it here. The Raiders mids have been pretty solid these last couple of weeks. There is a threat of a bounce back after a disappointing performance from the Cowboys last week, but like I said, I'll risk it. I'm going to jump on the Raiders for a close win, so 1 to 12 points, and to score a try, we're going to go with Ethan Strange. And to headline our Saturday night, we have a bottom of the barrel game between the worst in the league, the West Tigers, and South Sydney, who were hot for a little bit, but have more than cooled down since losing Trout Mitt. Looking at the lineup for the Tigers, youngster Luke Laulili'i will be back on the wing for Solomon Alaimalo, who is medically suspended with a Category 1 HIA. They also welcome back Alex Seyfarth, who will be starting in the back row for Ruben Porter, who was dropped. They have one new face on the bench, and that is Sione Fainu. For the Bunnies, one change. Tallis Duncan will be starting in the back row for Mike Cheek-Cam. Hosty joins the bench, and I can't remember if Keon was starting in the back row last week, but he's there this week with Cab Murray taking a spot back at lock. As for our pick in this game, I do not like these kinds of matches for picks, because with teams that have nothing to lose, you genuinely don't know what you're going to get. In the head-to-head, the Bunnies are up, winning 26 out of 43 played. Most previously, they've been smashed both times. You kind of feel like the Tigers are due for a win. Back at Campbelltown too, but man, going off their previous performances, they've been getting smashed, so I won't be risking it on them to break the drought. We'll just back the class of players like Cam Murray, Cody Walker, Damien Cook to get the Bunnies over the line. So give me the Bunnies, we'll go 13 plus. That's been a theme with the Tigers and all their losses, and to score a try, we're going to jump on young gun Tallis Duncan on an edge. And the Sunday doubleheader to close the week, we have the Titans on the road against the Dragons, this being played at Wynn Stadium. There is a lot of movement for the home side here, the Dragons, so let's take a look. So they have lost 2 players for the remainder of the season, one of them being Moses Sualii, unfortunately, who has been a pillar for their left edge defense. arguably one of the most slept on players in the comp in my opinion. That's neither here or there. So covering him at centre, they've got twin Matt Fairley. The Dragons were sweating on the results for Kyle Flanagan and his biting charge, and unfortunately he is gone for 4 weeks, I think it said. They've got him named here in the lineup, but with him being guilty, I believe it's Jack Bird that'll move into the halves. As for the rest of the changes for the Dragons, they will also be without James Celis, so joining the bench, they've got the other couchman, Toby in the 14. I'm assuming if Birdie goes into the halves, they'll get Raymond Vaitala-Mariner, who's 18th man. For the Titans, Brian Kelly makes his return into the centres. Brimo will be coming off the bench. And with Mofo Doika out due to a suspension, Aaron Clark will be starting in the front row. As for our pick in this game, looking at the head-to-head, the Dragons currently up, winning 19 out of 30 played. They did play way back in round 1 where the Titans got pumped. They are nowhere near that team they used to be. More recently, the Dragons are 2 from their previous 5, losing to top 4 opponents. And the Titans, 3 from their previous 5. The Dragons fighting for a spot in the 8s. Back at Wynn Stadium, a venue they do love playing at, seeing as they've won 3 from their previous 4. This season, that one loss being to the Panthers, so pretty excusable there. For the Titans on the other hand, they've played 5 games at Wynn Stadium and haven't picked up a win yet. So it's essentially a graveyard for them. Do they change history here and pick up their first win? I think they can, but I'm not confident enough to take them. Something I've said all season long with the Titans, you just never know what you're going to get. It's rocks or diamonds. They're either really good or they're dirt. So for that, I want to stay away from them. In this match, we're going to back history here and take St. George, fighting for a spot in the 8s. I'll jump on them for a close win and to score a try. We're going to go with Zach Lomax. And to close out the round, we have an interesting game here between the Sharks and the Knights. This being played at PointsBet Stadium. Looking at changes, the Sharks have the same 17. And for the Knights, one change, Dylan Lucas, he's back, playing at centre for Christian Mapapalangi. As for our pick in this, we want to keep it pretty short and sweet with the Sharkies here. We'll be taking them back at home, yes, without their stars, but in the 2 games where they didn't have their stars, they've put on some really good performances, and it's a testament to good coaching and a solid foundation, or a solid system. I mean, they're number 4 for a reason, winning 13 out of 20 matches played this season. The Knights did look decent against the Tigers, but it's the Tigers. They still managed to put 18 points on them. I think the Sharkies will be up for it again. I do think it'll be a pretty close game, so we'll take the Sharkies by 1 to 12 points and to score a try. We're going to go with Jesse Ramian, who's lining up against Dylan Lucas, I believe. Somewhat of a mismatch, but yeah, that's about it. As always, if you do have any tips and predictions of your own, let us know in the comment section down below. And for more rugby league related content or more content in general, go ahead and drop your boy a cheeky sub. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you later.